Hey guys, it's 2BH, Irresistibly Honest. And first of all, before thanking y'all, I wanna see if you noticed something different. I'm back.
Which we probably never said that you were gone in the last episodes.
But I know a few of you guys did notice that
Some
he was
of
missing.
your followers, your religious followers.
Better. No, but now, now that that's over, thanks everybody who's listening, watching on YouTube, even though it's just an image. Still appreciate it.
For sure.
Wherever, whenever you're watching, like always.
In space and time, we appreciate you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this week, we want to talk about things that we could do as kids, but now we did them as adults. It wouldn't look that good,
Okay.
There wouldn't be judgment, and and some of those stuff, it sucks because some of those stuff, like as an adult, you still find them fun, you still enjoy them.
Totally, yeah.
But for some reason, society might mostly just judge old people,
Oh,
Yeah.
judgy old people.
But first of all, let me say that my name is Adrian.
My name is Eddie.
And I'm Gabriel.
And by note, I don't know if you noticed that we skipped the names, but that means like this is a topic that we want to talk about.
We're excited.
That we really want to talk about, huh?
We're getting ahead of ourselves with this topic.
It happens quite often, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, Adrian. So things that we used to do when we were kids, but now, in a way, we can't, right?
And if we do,
Well, depends how much you care about people judging you.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's the key. That's the key.
yeah, but if we do, then we do get judged on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If we do these things, you'll see what we mean.
Right. So, first of all, for me, a big one is cartoons, I believe.
Okay,
A big one. Because, there's cartoons that even though they're for kids, there's still a lot of humor, because the writers are adults, so a lot of the humor reading in them is for adults or higher, more intelligent humor, so there might be stuff in it that you might still enjoy, but still people are automatically assume that if you watch why it's for kids,
Yeah, yeah, totally. As a matter of fact, prior to this podcast, we were talking about Gravity Falls, and Gravity Falls, of course, is made by Disney, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it was made to be appealing for a younger audience. I would like to say kids, teenagers, right?
Yeah.
But also, like Adrian was saying, there's a lot of hints for adult audience only, right? So if you're an adult and you're watching Gravity Falls, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
For example, myself, I really enjoy Gravity Falls. My wife and I, we actually saw the cartoon, and it's really good, man. You get to notice a few or a lot. I will say a lot of adult jokes. So
Totally.
But I mean, imagine that we are in a cookout. Is there normal for you to say that, you know what, the other day I was watching this cartoon, which is called Gravity Falls, and it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it totally depends who you're with.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But I do agree with you. It's those things that you don't really bring up because you kind of know in the back of your head, ooh, they might say something about it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're trying to give a first impression, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you know the person already, you're not really telling them that type of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or
man.
I think a big one would be if you're hitting on a girl, you might not bring up, hey, I watch cartoons.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much you have no hobbies at that point.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, there's also another type of cartoons that we're now watching, or maybe not cartoons by itself, but it's a different kind of animation. And actually, Gabriel was talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally a pretty big fan of anime. There's a bunch of anime out there. A big variety of categories. You got the romance ones. You even got horror ones. A lot of action. I mean, I'm mostly into action ones. I don't know if any of our listeners have seen Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
That's a super famous one that I know of. That super good, and it for sure doesn't look like it's for kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It's super gory and stuff like that. But I have had experiences where I mentioned it, and they look at me like, isn't that like a cartoon? Aren't those cartoons? And I'm like, well, I guess they're animated, right? But it's not really a cartoon. It's animated. That's it. You know, or like, I mean, as a kid, we would watch like Dragon Ball Z. I know we all have. And like, if you mention that now that you still like it, they probably look at you like, you still like Dragon Ball Z? Isn't that for kids? I've gotten that a lot, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's my only comment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I got.
You were talking about the anime that are not for kids.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, there are some R-rated anime.
Man. Yeah,
Like Hellsing. Have you guys seen Hellsing? There's a lot of bloodshed.
I've heard of it.
A lot of bloodshed.
I've known about it, but I haven't actually seen it.
Man, if you haven't seen Hellsing, I totally recommend it to you. And the movies are, oh my god, like they're really good. There's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of slicing,
Action,
throats, and
okay, I'm interested.
blood involved.
You got me there.
Yeah, and this stuff has to do with vampires, ghouls, demons, and all that. So clearly not for kids, right?
Yeah, and the thing about anime is that it's mostly, the way it works is mostly like regular TV. Like, oh, this one is made for kids. This one is made for teenagers. This one is made for adults. You know, like it's like regular TV. You know, not just like all cartoons like in here. So you know, but like a lot of old people, you know, or like people that are not really familiar with it, they automatically assume since it's animated, it's automatically for kids. You know.
Yeah, totally.
And you cannot really talk about it, you know, with them or bring it up
openly in the first first conversation with someone. Because they're gonna think automatically what Adrian said. That you're just watching something that is made for kids, right?
Yeah. Or that you're really immature. I mean, not gonna lie, I've seen some immature people see it.
Oh yeah.
But that's not all of us.
Yeah, you know, it goes further than just cartoons. Yeah. Obviously, you know, like there's other stuff. I don't know if there's anything in particular that stands up to you that you miss as a kid.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's this one. And I think it's a big one. And the thing is, playground games. Like as a kid, I would love to play like tag, hide and seek.
Oh man.
In Mexico, we had this thing we watched bote pateado, which practically was
kick the bottle.
Yeah, kick the bottle. Is the same thing?
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I think it just means like the direct translation.
But it's practically baseball but with the football.
Oh, kickball.
Kickball, yeah.
Yeah, we used to play kickball.
We have that.
And but the thing with the bote pateado is that you actually had a bottle.
Yeah, it's a ghetto one.
So you I don't remember if we fill it with sand.
Rocks or
yeah, with sand. With rocks.
No, I don't mean like huge. I mean like pebbles.
Yeah.
Come on, Adrian.
Yeah, but I think we filled it with sand. So everyone will be standing in a line. So you have to like kick it and say someone's name. So that person had to run and retrieve the bottle, and you have to catch everyone else, right? So that was like el bote pateado.
Oh, that's a bit different than kickball.
Yeah,
kickball is really baseball, but like with the ball.
We used to play that on the streets too.
Yeah,
and it was really fun. But the thing is that you don't get to play all those things nowadays as an adult without being judged by some other people.
Man. Like I've never seen adults play tag as adults. But I really think it would be fun.
Yeah, totally, man.
Going to the park, playing tag, it'd be cool.
Yeah, like when we us like together, like we go to pool, like we play tag in the pool, you know, like. But like I know that we were to do that at a park, like people would judge, like people would look at us, like what's wrong with you guys?
These guys probably don't have jobs, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is that, don't you think it should be like way better to actually normalize that? I mean, I think so. We will have another way of staying fit, but having fun at the same time, right? You're practically not noticing that you're working out. You're just having fun, you know? Yeah, that was the magic when you were a kid. You were working out, you were having fun at the same time. You were not even worrying about it, right? So
that
that's one of
wasn't
the things
your
that I miss the
intention, but
most.
it happened.
Huh?
That wasn't even your intention, but it happened. You know, you
exactly,
just like
man.
did exercise. as a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. And I
Oh,
think
man.
that was a really good way to bond, actually, with
That too, man.
with other individuals
Uh-huh.
and stuff.
Man, those were some good days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like going out and playing all day, and your signal to go back in was like when the lights would turn on. Like, okay, you gotta go back in. Let's go. You know.
Or your mom will go out like screaming your name.
Yeah. Alex.
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah, I remember.
It was good times, good times.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
And not only that, like you could go to the arcades, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there were a lot of places just made for kids to have fun.
Oh yeah, man! Don't mention it.
And well, there still are, but like you're not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
The
You're
not a kid
places are
anymore.
still there.
Yeah, like
You're not.
like Chuck E. Cheese, where they don't let you in unless you have a kid.
Oh, that's it.
That sucks, man. Like I like video games too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I wish it's like Peter Piper.
Thankfully, Peter Piper does allow you to.
Yeah. And man, like it sucks because even as adults you like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
exactly.
you wish you could, but it's rare that you could find a place that is sort of like for kids but for adults. You know, like kind of like a translation.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you have adult games like playing pool, going to a bar,
Yeah.
things like that. That's like really, really for adults, and that's
Mhm.
okay. But it's not really a translation from like the arcade you used to go as kids. You know, that was
Yeah,
really
exactly.
for kids. But now you could do it as adults.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we were talking about, and of course, there's places where you can go as an adult and having fun with your kid, and like having a beer and all that. That are specifically made. Those places are specifically made for adult
Fun.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but these places are kind of like what
Like
are
new
really new
and rare.
and rare.
Like honestly, I only know of one,
Yeah, pretty much just Dave and Buster's, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
and I mean, other than being really expensive, it is fun, but it's really just one. Like I could probably name you like 5 for kids right now. There's just
Yeah.
for kids.
And as much as I do like Dave and Buster's, like I love Peter Piper pizza. You know, like I love eating pizza there.
Dude,
You
the
know,
pizza
so
there is like one of my favorites.
so like in order to get Peter Piper pizza, I need to go to Peter Piper Pizza. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird that like it's like a couple of dogs is going like alone to Pepper Pizza, you know, to pizza and play games.
Yeah, I mean, it will be nice if Peter Piper Pizza will have like a section that is made for adults. Right? It's like you have your Street Fighter 1 and 2,
Ooh.
you know, even King of Fighters for that audience. What else? Even Pac-Man. If you have like your Pac-Man going on, you know what I love, and it's really weird. Not weird, but it's really rare to see
I
one.
was like, what are you gonna say?
Pinball.
Ooh, bro, I love that.
Metal Slug.
Dude, I haven't
Yeah.
seen.
Metal Slug, man.
Ooh.
I remember.
five.
I haven't seen pinball machines anymore, man.
Yeah,
No matter
exactly.
where I go, I don't see them.
First, you need to work in a really hipster place to see one.
Yeah, man, and I love them. They're super fun. They're totally mechanic, which makes them more appealing to me, to be honest.
Bro, that sound when you hit the button, I was like,
Cling,
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 cling. Like,
cling.
it's so nostalgic for me whenever I hear
exactly.
it.
And they have electronic ones, but like you know, like on your iPad or your laptop.
Oh, yeah,
But like it's not the
it's
same
not the
because like
same.
so like you can feel the ball like hitting stuff when you're playing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're holding the machine, right?
Like every time you hit something, like you feel it. You know, there's
You
a weight
feel it.
to it.
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
you just cannot get it if you're not there. You know?
Yeah, so like I'm saying, it will be so nice if a place like Peter Piper Pizza will have like these kind of games for older people, you know. And
Yeah.
and I'm not talking 40s, 50s, and I mean for people like us, we're like 22 to 27, man. And I would like to see those places, you know, man, those games in places like these, right? Because we totally love arcade games. They're really fun. I mean, yeah, right now we do have our video games and consoles that we can have at home. But I think nothing beats the experience of having something to munch and play, you know, with your friends. It's like like going to a bar, but for me, it's even stepping up, you know, because it's something that you really, really
Your happy
like.
place.
Yeah, exactly. That would be my happy place, man.
That's
Right?
how I would build, like, you know how guys get like their man caves?
Oh
That's
yeah,
probably how I would build it.
yeah,
A
exactly,
fucking
man.
arcade,
Yeah.
Pac-Man pinball in there.
I mean, that's a perfect thing. Okay, so what else do we have? Actually, for you guys that are listening to us, we actually made a list, so we wouldn't forget anything that we were talking about.
We're trying to do without the list, but you know, it's we forget. We're not.
Yeah, we're forgetful. So I think the next one that we have here.
Yeah, the next one should be more about a bit different, more about opening yourself up in public. You know, like showing your feelings in public. You know.
Like crying or like actually demonstrating that you're mad, or that you're frustrated.
Yeah, you know, sort of like in public, you sort of have to be careful of, I guess, not causing a disturbance, not bothering other people. So, you know, you sort of gotta bottle shit up, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing, I think, bothering other people, I think it's more out of respect than anything. But for sure, crying, I think that's the one that I would see as like the main point, because like you do want to cry sometimes, man.
Yeah,
like, that's just it. You do, and I feel like it should be seen a bit more normal as adults, because sometimes you do get a reason to fucking cry, man.
Yeah.
You know, like whether it's fucking you're tight on money and you're seeing yourself, you know, in the deepest hole you ever could, and as a kid, you couldn't get the chips. And like that was it. That was your reason for crying. You know? So it's kind of like sometimes I feel like it should be seen a bit more okay. But yeah, totally it does. It is seen really bad. Like let's say you're fucking at Walmart and you say like, oh, I don't have money for the groceries or for my kids to eat, and you start crying. Like I'll be like, why are they crying? You know?
Yeah, like what's going on with this person? Is it not stable, mentally stable, or what's going on, you know?
Or what a crybaby, you know?
Exactly.
So I don't know, man. I feel like as adults we have more of a reason to cry.
Or even though, like, imagine that you go to the movies and you see a very emotional movie and you start crying. Like people, a few or a lot of people is gonna be like, "What?
Why you crying?"
Yeah, why are you crying, man?
I cried.
You're a grown up now.
It happens, but
You know?
still, you know.
Yeah, I think as movies it is seen a bit more okay, but still, there's still the people that are like, why are they crying?
It's just a
Yeah.
movie.
You know? Shit.
Yeah,
I
but, you
agree.
know,
I agree.
It happens, you know, as an adult. Like, I guess you get it, because, you know, I guess, like, or not so much get it, but I guess you assume that, like, all people are supposed to, like, get this shit together, you know, so, like,
Yeah.
so, like,
Yeah. And I have seen it be a little more normal, kind of now, because I've seen memes where there's this one where they posted like I saw this guy crying at the library, and I looked at him and all I thought was like it'd be like that sometimes, you know, and I was like it'd be like that sometimes, like it is, you know. So
Yeah,
I guess it's seen a little more normal now, but still.
Yeah, like our generation is changing the way we see things, right?
By a lot, man. By a lot.
And I mean, I think that nowadays you won't get judged as bad as back in the day if you start crying or if you're having a breakdown where you just want to like cry and let everything out.
Man, back in the day, I feel like they would judge you for everything. Like everything you had to be like this. And that's it. Anything outside of that, they would judge the crap out of you. That's what I see it as.
Like really squarish.
Yeah. Like be there, be square.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man, it sucks, you know. Another one, a big one, is also, like, asking questions, you know.
Like what do you mean?
Like, you know, people, I guess, you just assume you, like, expect you to know everything these days, like, when you're an
Like
adult.
as an adult. Oh, okay, I see what you
Like, if for some reason when you turn 18, like, suddenly, like, all this knowledge comes to you.
I feel the power on your birthday. Like you blow the candles and then your head grows.
Like Santa Claus doesn't exist. What?
You always put the money under my pillow.
There's no fairy tooth. No fairy tooth. Fairy.
Oh, but spoiler alert.
Oh, I'm sorry, kids. If you're listening to this, that was not real.
I mean, it's a big joke. Come on, guys.
It's propaganda.
It's for what?
Propaganda.
We're just trying to brainwash you.
No, yeah, man. But that point that you made is totally true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're as an adult start making a lot of questions, it can be for a few reasons. The one that I can think is like just to double check on what you're doing and why you're doing it in order for you to do it in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have to do something, let's say at work, it's gonna be like, okay, so I have to do this, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to do it like this, and afterwards I have to do this, right? And they'll be like, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could be okay, I have to do this, like, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it's common sense, right?
Yeah, man.
Right? Because they don't have.
Well, for you who've been working here for like 20 years, maybe.
Ándale, if
Dude,
you're new and they're expecting
I've met people
that you
like
know everything, man,
Uh-huh.
that sucks.
And it's something I found really weird, cause like in school, like pretty much all through school, growing up, they're like, you know, if you don't know something, ask questions.
Ask
You know, it's better
questions,
to
yeah.
ask questions, you know, than do things wrong, you know. Like actually, like inform yourself. Like the pretty much every class they tell you, know,
Yeah.
you ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, the only dumb question is the one that is not asked.
I mean, I've heard some dumb questions too. But you're right. You're right, though. You know, I mean, and I think if I was a boss or in a managing position, I would rather have them double check with me than fucking do it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, of course, have initiative, have confidence in what you're doing, but it doesn't hurt to make sure you're doing it right.
yeah.
You know, and I would love. I would
And it's weird because some
prefer
bosses expect you to do that, but when you actually do it, like they're like you're dumb or something.
that. Yeah.
But then when you don't ask, they're like, "Why didn't you ask? You should have asked." You know,
Yeah.
like it's better to ask than do it wrong. Like,
What do you want me to do?
What do we
Read your
Just like-
mind or something?
You finally start crying.
Breakdown.
Dude, I know, and it sucks, man. Like, I wish people would understand. And it's also like a lot of perspective, because people who have been working there a lot, and the new people come in and they're like, well, you should know this already. It's like, I just got here, dude.
This is totally my first day, and I'm barely introducing myself to you.
it's not like I have this machine at home. Like,
Dude, I know. Yeah, bitch, because I go back and work and I use this machine, you know?
like, I have an industrial fry maker at home. You know.
Totally.
My favorite one.
I like that. I like that one. I totally go back and use it. Duh.
The one at home is different, you know. Like the one at home is left hand. I don't know what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, I got the previous year.
Yeah. I mean, this model is too new for me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird. 'Cause, like some people like tell you to do it, but when you actually do it, and, like they look at you like you're a dumbass, and it's like
Dude, totally.
confusing.
You know, for myself, one of the things that I appreciate the most when I am receiving some new information, other than just reading a manual,
Bro.
right, and just figuring out by yourself, is a person who actually have the knowledge of something,
Yeah.
and if they transmit it to you, that's priceless, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's priceless. So there's people that are really, really shy to tell you, okay, this is the way I do it, and this and that, and this and that. So I
Yeah.
recommend you to do it in this way, because there's a lot of people that actually says like, hey, don't tell me what to do. I'm
Bro,
gonna
I
figure it out by
freaking
myself.
hate people like that. I hate it. And then they fucking do it wrong, and you're like, you see? Like, you don't want to say I told you so, but I
Uh-huh.
freaking told you so.
Yeah, exactly,
You know?
man.
Oh, man. The way I do it, because there's also people that are like, do it this way, you know, and you have to do it this way.
Exactly. Like, there's only one way to do
Uh-huh.
it.
And like
That's
why?
bad too.
Well, cause that's how it's done. That's how I've been doing it.
Dude, that's the worst answer ever, because that's the way it is done. Like,
Yeah.
but why?
Like the way I
Yes.
do it, because I've had to train a couple people in the time that I've been there, and the way I say it is always like, this is what I do. You'll find your own way as you go. That's my word.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people that are like, oh well, I don't want to do it that way, and I'm like, suit yourself.
Okay, like
You know,
Yeah.
I did what I had to.
Mhm.
At that point, if you want to throw yourself off the bridge, go for it.
Mhm.
But don't do it.
because my way is the best.
If there's only one way to do it, and it's fine.
Okay, but the next one, Adrian, which is the next one?
And going back to the lighthearted stuff and fun stuff, comic books, you know.
Yeah, comic books.
Comic books. Okay.
Totally. And okay, tell us, what about comic books?
They have pictures.
They have pictures. A few letters too.
A few.
We sound like a joke, but that's kind of sort of like the reason why a lot of people seem like, oh, that's for kids because he has pictures.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I agree, man.
even though it does sound like a joke, we're like,
I'm not too much into comic books, but I am into manga. But it's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
different
So-
country, you know.
See,
Yeah.
different
Less
country.
colors, but
True. But it is the same thing though.
Yeah.
They get the same shade.
Okay, so the thing about comic books, and why we brought it to this list is because it's not until recently that reading comic books have been normalized or seen something as being cool among adults, right?
Mhm.
Because
Is it like the hipster cool though?
no,
Not
it's
anymore.
Like, actually, like mainstream, like especially like I think it's mostly because of the movies.
Yeah.
Like now, like superheroes are cool, you know. So
yeah,
Yeah,
because
okay,
back in the day,
agree.
like talking about, I will say 2000 and a little bit before that, that was really hipster for you, from you.
yeah,
like-
like you were either a kid or you were a loser, you know.
Yeah, exactly,
There you
exactly.
go. There you go.
So nowadays it has been normalized to read comic books, but a lot of people still seeing that as something really childish.
I think I've heard my mom say like, "Ahí están tus caricaturas," and then she gets the book, and you're like, "Oh." But you kind of get what she means, you know, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
for
yeah.
kids.
Oh yeah, I get it because like I barely sort of like started building my collection like
Uh-huh.
graphic novels from Marvel, and like when I get it like from Amazon, she looks at me like oh that's what you order, and like you can tell in the tone of her voice like
of
what she
course.
thinks about it. She doesn't say it, but
Yeah.
you hear
Like she's disappointed. Like, this is really what you ordered?
yeah like
Andale, exactly.
Man, we have pretty old school parents. That's why.
Yeah, man, but like we were saying, this is practically something that is just being normalized recently.
Yeah.
You know,
Does hentai count as cartoon?
in a way.
I think that was always for adults.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was the other way around. If you used to watch it when you were a kid.
You were definitely seeing a therapist.
yeah, man. Especially if you have seen too much octopus
Tentacles.
tentacles, and you
Okay.
you wouldn't like aliens after that.
Or maybe you would.
Oh
You
man,
know?
I don't know, and we won't judge, right? We won't judge.
We won't.
Okay, and I think that the other one that we have on our list is not having filters.
Yeah.
I mean, when
mean,
you're a kid,
yeah.
man, when you're a kid, you just say what you think.
You just blur out shit. And dude, okay, let me tell you one story where like I do remember doing that, and my dad, I learned my lesson like that, you know, in an instant, because I remember it was Halloween night, and they dropped off some cousins of ours. It was two girls, cousins that we never really talked about, you know what I mean? And then, like we never really talked to them. That's what I mean. And
Okay.
then we all had our freaking costumes already, and I see this girl, and she's wearing like pretty normal clothes, and all she has that is significant is like blush on her cheeks and
What?
some eyelashes, and that's it. But other than that, she looks quite normal.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a Barbie shirt, but girls wear Barbie shirts. I didn't, like, in my little head, I didn't process, oh, she's Barbie. I just thought, this girl's just fucking wearing blush, you know? So I'm like,
Where's your costume?
yeah. And me, innocently, I asked her, oh, what's your costume? And she's like, oh, I'm Barbie. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't tell,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I'm pretty sure I said it a bit worse than the way I remember it.
Yeah.
But then I hear my dad from the other room, Gabriel, come here. You know, like, okay. And I go and he was like, and I can't remember exactly what he whispered. He was like, you can't be doing that. And then he said something, and after that I felt bad, and I did say sorry. But I learned my lesson pretty quick, but you're totally right, man. We just blur shit out.
Yeah, exactly, man. And you don't think about the consequences.
Yeah, but I think the reason why it's better as kids is because we don't know better as kids. You know, it's the innocence.
Yeah.
You know, as adults, you can't do shit like that because you know.
Oh yeah.
It's bad.
So as an adult, is there's a really thin. Let me emphasize that. A really thin, almost invisible line between being honest and being an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's so invisible that you actually can trespass it without noticing.
And very quickly.
Yeah, really quickly.
And not only that, but like even if you don't trespass, people might still see you as an asshole. Cause like these days, a lot of people cannot take criticism. So even if you're like not saying anything bad, like you're not crossing the line, people still like, oh, you know, you don't agree with me, asshole.
Yeah, ándale, yeah. Man.
Bro, that's bad. Honestly, for me, I mean, it also depends on how much you care. Because for me, they could tell me anything, and I'm like, you know, whatever. But I do know some people that you give them a simple comment of like, let's say like, I mean, it also depends on the relationship, right? But you could mention something like, oh, you know, those colors don't match. But, and they would probably get offended. But also like, as an adult, you don't really say that. You know what I mean? Like you try to stick to the positive things only.
Oh yeah,
at least
that's really common, man.
At least me. If there's anything negative, I'm probably not gonna say it unless they ask me.
Yeah.
But if it's positive, I'll probably be like, I like your shoes or your hair or whatever.
Man, as an adult, it's a skill that you have to work, like to be honest and don't hurt feelings.
Yeah,
that's a skill that you get to work, and I only know a few, like really few people that can do that, and I really would like to do that.
You know where I see it a lot the most, and where I feel like I've practiced it way more in my life.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been at work.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do notice that when people aren't doing their job as fast as they could, I'm not saying they're doing it bad. I'm just saying they could do it better. You know. So it's you have to find a way to tell them like, hey man, you might want to try this. It might be better. You know, you got to find a way to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you really got to work on that.
And well, for me personally, I really hate to be so careful with what you're saying, because it's like, okay, and I don't want to mess with you, right? I really respect you, and you're the best. But I do think that you could do it better in this way, right? I really hate. I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating totally.
Especially because you know there's always like those coworkers, like maybe one or two that like even if it's not criticism, they take it the wrong way.
Yeah, totally.
You know, or it's like making a comment that has nothing to do with them, but they're like,
you know what's a famous. You know what's a famous response that I hear? If you don't like it, do it yourself. Have you gotten that?
Oh yeah.
Even though you're trying to be the best coworker you can by telling them like, hey, you could do this faster and better. And they're like, if you don't like it, do it yourself.
Yeah, it's those moments that like I wish it was okay for me to be an asshole. Not to be like, look, it's your job and you need to do it, but unfortunately your job affects me, so that's why I gotta suggest shit to you.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it hasn't been to the point where their job affects me up to the point where I gotta be an asshole about it. But I do have some experiences, but yeah, man, it's really up to the person you're talking to and the way you do it. I personally don't care if they're blunt with me. Like if they're blunt and they tell me like, "Hey, you're fucking up," I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Right.
You know, thank you for letting me know. But I know there's some people that cannot take that. You know, at all.
Yeah, man. Good conversation. Good conversation. You know?
Yeah, really good, man.
34 minutes.
34, man.
Right.
Good time, and you know, that was it for today. You know, like always, we're gonna thank everybody who made it all the way to the end.
For sure.
And like always, again, you know, subscribe, like, and you know, see us on the other social medias. You know, Facebook and Twitter.
Now we got an Instagram, by the way.
Oh, we do have Instagram, yeah.
Whoa! This was done while I was not here. You know, I lived for 1 week and like
And we progress so much. What a coincidence.
The chaos.
Okay.
Thank you for the 1 million subscribers that we have now.
Oh, shit.
Well, this is my last episode. No, but yeah, Twitter.com/2beardpodcast, Facebook.com/2beardpodcast, and I don't know about the Instagram.
It is Instagram.com/2bhpodcast as well.
Oh, how did you figure that out, man?
I'm just glad that nobody took the name.
Yeah, totally.
That's it.
Honestly, I thought you were gonna go with something crazy. I wasn't here, you know. I don't know how much chaos there was gonna be.
To be host.
To be host. And we wrote our name on
3VH.
Mars with the laser.
3VH.
3VH.
Oh crap.
Shit.
Well, I'm Adrian.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Gabriel.
And we were 2BH Irresistibly Honest.